Evening, ladies and gentlemen. I just have some concerns about some of the safety practices that are going on in the hobby. Shortcuts. Take an example, and we all know who it is. Everybody's seen the videos. We all know who it is. Don't need to name names. Individual has 2 or 3 dogs in the house. Has Australian species, I think Phallogius crassipes. I don't know if they have rubicetta or not. They're in cheap enclosures. They're not double caged. These tarantulas are 100% fatal to dogs if they bite, and they also can move pretty dang fast. Does it mean don't keep them with dogs? No. But how much extra money is it if you have dozens of animals to put your critter keeper into a 10 or 20 gallon tank and double cage it? How hard is that to do? Compared to the budget of what they're running, not hard. And I guarantee you, if that came to the attention of the authorities, the dogs were injured, guess what's going to happen? Laws are going to be passed. We've already seen what's happened, which is totally unjustified, by the way, with the Poecilotherius, with the Subfuscus and Ornatus and that kind of thing, being they claim that selling them across state lines endangers the species, but Fish and Wildlife does. And then they also turn right around and they say, well, by the way, they hybridize in captivity. They're breeding like crazy. Oh my God, these spiders are screwing anything that looks remotely like each other, and they're reproducing. An animal that has hundreds of spiderlings per egg sac, and they think that we're endangering it. Yeah, right. There are some things that are unjustified. The whole brown box thing, what are they going to say? Oh my God, you were going to breed it. You were going to breed those T. Celadonias, damn it. Really? I mean, stuff like that is stupid, and the extent should either ignore it or sue to change it, better yet. Then there's other issues, and I've talked about this once before with space heaters. How many people who use these things have gone to the fire marshal and said, here's my exact setup. This guy that we think is a lunatic or whatever has said that my space heaters will kill people. Now, do you think that all these reports of Google, of all these houses being burned down, all these kids being killed, multiple countries worldwide, is this a false flag operation? What do you think, the Earth Liberation Front is putting out things on space heaters so that people won't use them? Those damn things are dangerous. Look, fire, you have something called a fire triangle. You have oxygen, fuel source, namely anything in your house that isn't glass and metal that'll burn, and a heat source. We all know one lit cigarette in your bed, throw it on the floor, could burn a house down. A candle could burn a house down. Maybe, does anybody dispute that when you put heat in there, you have completed that fire triangle? Basic home safety. If you're going to use a heat source, the best type to use is something that isn't hot enough to cause a fire in the first place. For example, the ones I use, one of the heat pads is like 90 degrees on the outside, and it produces an 85 degree on the inside of the warm side, and the heat lamp itself, I can literally touch it by hand. It's that the thing, it's more than 8 inches above the tank, and I could probably, even the little ceramic element I could hold, that's a little uncomfortable, but I can hold it. It's not going to burn anything, even if it falls crashing to the ground, because it's not hot enough. And not only that, the other thing with heat sources is you can do microclimates and cabinets. But let's say that, and one of the reasons I didn't do that was because I was reading reports in the net. Somebody had a heat cabinet with a thermostat. Well, that thermostat got stuck in the opposition the thing went full power, zapped about, I think, 20 or 30 of his tarantula slings. You heat each cage individually. Let's say the thing malfunctions. Well, God forbid, but that's just one spider. If the setup on my Sturmy malfunctions, might wipe him out, but it's not going to take out my pokies. It's not going to take out my klugi. It's not going to take out my scorpions. It's not going to, the Bihimori, I mean, he's just under a wireless router. 76 degrees there. And, you know, not into heating cages. I mean, the other question, of course, and this is a failing on my part, is why am I keeping these tropical species when I know that my apartment's 67, 68 degrees because of another person's health condition that lives here, and that I can't change that. Now, that's kind of a, you know, maybe that's kind of a mental malfunction on my part, but, you know, the fact is I found a way to fix it. Again, if you, it only takes one idiot, one news report. I mean, people think you're kind of strange keeping tarantulas anyway. Shouldn't be, but they do. They're afraid of spiders. Well, people are also afraid of fire. And with a good reason. You know, you put those two phobias together, somebody's going to try to pass a whole bunch of laws that we don't like. Another example. Person at my last apartment, I don't know who it is, obviously was out of control in terms of hobby-wise. An exotic centipede got out. My cat, I'll try to roll the pictures in here, got bitten on the jaw trying to kill it. And she did. She protected me and Jen from possibly being put in the hospital ourselves, and called the vet. I called the vet, and the vet said, well, listen, we can't give your cat any kind of painkillers because we don't know what kind of centipede it is, and I don't know if the painkillers would cross-react with the venom and kill your cat. As long as she's breathing, let it wear off. As a result, my poor cat Nix had to suffer the consequences of somebody who was probably using cheap enclosures. And by the way, all the roaches that got out in that place too, they weren't necessarily German cockroaches. I think they were red runners. Okay? Just call it, you know, an educated guess. All right? I hadn't called the cops. I mean, one of the reasons I just moved into my condo. Okay. This is before I got in the hobby. So, again, actions have consequences. And if you screw it up, you're going to screw everybody up. You look at what I've done, controversial though it might be, it's safe. It may look like crap. It may not be engineered very well, but it's safe. And ironically enough, some of the heat pads and lamps have actually kicked the temperatures, at least in my bedroom, up a few degrees, and the roommate now can't sleep in that bed. She's sleeping on the couch. But she's my ex anyway, so, you know, she hasn't raised too much hell about it, which is good. Can I move all of them into that room? Would it solve anything? Probably not. And there are cold weather species. I mean, there's things like M. robustum and M. negativus, whatever it's called. The Sofusca highlands are banned. I think Fear Not sells them, but you have to drive to Virginia to buy them. Whether you have to be a Virginia resident or not, I don't know. But, you know, there's concern, oh, brown boxing is going to make us look bad, and that is, well, yeah, maybe. But nobody ever died. Not going to kill people. You kill somebody, that's going to look really, 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 really bad. And you're going to go to jail. And you don't want to have me on the jury, because I'll send your ass to jail. Okay? But you have to ask at some point, I mean, is it? People that joke, well, tarantulas are addiction. Well, is it an addiction? Isn't an addiction something where you have to do it regardless of the consequences to yourselves and others? Just think about it. mean, I've worked with some people that had cold places like I had. Apparently, I'm not the only one that has to live in a 68, 67 degree house. I mean, if you look, that's what I have to wear just to be comfortable in my own home. I'm not comfortable there. And if I was running around naked in my own house, my God, I'd be shivering like crazy. And I'm warm-blooded, okay? No, that's as low as I go. I'm not going to aim the camera any farther down. Sorry, ladies. That's the way it is. Okay. But anyway, just, I've worked with people. I've had other people contact me, on the down low. They've run the same setups I've run. I've had a dozen people. I was looking at them. Between the tarantulas they have, there's close to 100 spiders that are being heated the way I have them, and they're all doing great. In fact, one fella had was running a microclimate with several slings in there. He switched it over from a thermostat to a rheostat switch like I suggested. His slings are growing. He said he's getting more moths. He thinks they're growing 10 to 20% faster, and thrilled. Of course, it's a steady heat. Anyway, just think about it.